The Tales series, the unloved, unremembered, younger stepsister of Dragon Quest and Final Fantasy. As a fan of the Tales series since the 3DS port of Tales of the Abyss, it has always saddened me how overshadowed these games have always been. Their lovable casts and engaging stories unappreciated. While popular in its original country of Japan, the Tales series has never had a strong foothold over in the West, even if it has been steadily growing since Tales of Symphonia. In 2021, Tales of Arise popped off, introducing many a newbie to the series with its flash and spectacle, much to my chagrin. Not to say it's bad, but you know, I got mixed feelings about Arise, especially seeing how it hasn't really led to much love being shown to all of the titles that came before it. And so today, I want to yap your ear off about this goddamn series. And you're gonna listen. Cause like, I don't know, what the hell else are you gonna put on in the background while you vacuum your floors? You are gonna vacuum, right? Your carpets are filthy as your soul. Or at least would be if you still had your soul. That's right, I know your secrets. So we're gonna cover what the Tales series is, what makes it great, why you should play it, and which titles you should start with. Before we begin, ciao! My name's Thomas, aka the Unicorn of War, and I am a writer and author who has been obsessed with the Tales series for quite a few years now. Oh god, it's been a decade. Oh god, time. But my focus here is to comb through the media that I enjoy and dissect which elements resonate with me and which ones make me wish I was dead, usually at the same time. If all that sounds interesting to you, then be sure to subscribe and ring that bell for notifications of new videos and community posts because YouTube hates creators. You can also consider pledging your support to me and my content over on Patreon. Patrons get early access videos and scripts, Patreon exclusive content, and access to the private Union of War Discord server. Anyhow, without further ado, let the chaos commence, starting with the release of Tales of Phantasia back in the ancient year of 1995. The Tales series is an anthology fantasy JRPG in the same vein as Final Fantasy and Dragon Quest, with the distinguishing honor of having real-time, action-focused combat, and also being far more obscure. Published by Bandai Namco, each game, unless it's a numbered sequel or a spin-off, is set in its own world with its own self-contained story and its own unique cast. And like the name suggests, they're mostly the tales of noun plus IA suffix, with some exceptions such as Abyss or Destiny. The stories in each game vary quite a bit, but the general formula follows as such. You are a dorky dingus who gets involved in various life-threatening shenanigans, meeting a colorful cast of fellow freaks and social rejects as you go on your quest to save the world or whatever. You fight God, solve climate change, tackle discrimination and inequality, and contemplate deep philosophical questions, all the while wondering what your place in the world truly is, and also wondering why nearly all the men in the series are husbando material. As of right now, the Tales series features nearly 30 mainline entries. The exact number is debatable given certain games Namco would like you to forget, and certain mobile games I would like to pretend don't exist. While it started in the mid-90s, the Tales series didn't really see a deluge of new titles until the 2000s. And even so, took a long time to gain a solid foothold in markets outside of Japan. The real watershed moment was Tales of Symphonia back in 2003. You know, the one that everyone knows.
Feel the pain of those inferior beings as you burn in hell.
Sadly, the release of new games has slowed over the 2010s, with the last major release being Tales of Arise back in 2021. And those familiar with my channel are likely already aware of my turbulent relationship with Arise in particular. However, many of the older titles have been receiving remasters for modern consoles and PC to varying degrees of success. Meanwhile, many Tales fans have taken it upon themselves to preserve and even update neglected titles that would have otherwise been lost to the sands of time. Shout out to Life Bottle Productions for their HD remaster of Tales of the Abyss, and also Legendia. I just started Legendia, and actually, I'm liking it a lot more than I thought I would so far. With so many different titles and dozens upon dozens of quirky, unhinged characters, the Tales series has something for everyone. Everyone's got their own favorite, their own nemesis, and their own character whomst they stan. For my own ranking, check out my video on my personal favorite Tales games. It's a bit outdated because I've finished both Graces and Symphonia, as of then. Will I make an update? Who knows? But before we delve into how you would get into the series, let's talk gameplay. Now, having been raised on Kingdom Hearts like the trash I am an admitted lover of button mashing. What can I say? I enjoy beating the enemy's face in with a giant key sword to get the anger out. And as such, Tales being an action JRPG series with real-time combat immediately caught my interest. Most games in the series feature what is called the Linear Motion Battle System, or LMBS for short. You know those fighting games where you and your opponent are on a 2D plane and you can only move forward, back, or jump? Tales games operated like that when they were still 2D, and Legendia, despite being 3D, operates that way too. But in the 3D titles, you are more tracking toward your enemy along a 2-dimensional line within a 3-dimensional arena, usually with the option of free run by holding down a button. This allows for extra attacks to be assigned based on your movement inputs. More recent games have done away with this, letting you free run by default, but the idea is still the same. You navigate the overworld, run into enemies on the field, and then are transported to an arena to do battle with multiple opponents. Parties tend to run about 6 to 9 members, nice, with you only being able to bring 4 into battle with you, sometimes with the ability to switch members in and out on the fly. Each game builds upon the system that came before and adds certain tweaks or gimmicks, be it for quality of life improvements, experimentation, or flashy features that help a particular title stand out. For example, in Tales of Xillia, you can link with another character to harmonize your strategy and activate special moves called link arts to deal more damage or heal your party all at once. Or in Tales of Vesperia, where you have human characters who can fuse with spirit characters into different elemental forms. Some games have better battle systems than others, but it's fun seeing how the developers alter the combat system so it never gets stale. Now, sometimes the stories of Tales games can be fire. Future me, show the golden children on screen right now, or I'ma hunt you down. But even when the plots are kinda mid, or just plain derivative, the characters 9 times out of 10 are gonna be the saving graces. Well, except in the case of Tales of Graces, ironically, but you know, that's just my microwavable hot take. Characters will usually fall into traditional JRPG and anime archetypes, but those tropes are mostly used as building blocks to create more complex, endearing characters. From a rogue who left the path of knighthood to deal out vigilante justice, preferably with bisexual lighting, to a simple village girl turned into a horrible monster, out to avenge her murdered brother, to a spoiled nobleman who suffers from amnesia after being kidnapped by a rival kingdom as a child. You can always count on compelling stories from not only your protagonists, but also the supporting cast. You get to watch a ragtag collection of losers band together and form a little found family. You venture the far reaches of different fantasy worlds, doing everything from tracking down petty thieves to rebelling against authoritarian regimes, to restructuring the very nature of the world itself. And you know, the usual things that you do with your friends on a night out. The games emphasize this in just about every in-game mechanic, including skits, brief cutscenes that you can play while running about where characters will discuss literally anything. Anything that's considered unimportant and isn't going to be animated in a full cutscene.
But what if I get turned into a frog or a snake by the forest's curse?
If that happens, I'll take care of you.
You'll take care of me?
Of course I would. Don't worry. I had pet frogs and snakes when I was a kid.
If you got turned into a frog or a snake, Yuri, I wouldn't have any idea what to feed you.
It allows players more interested in the characters to watch them talk about pretty much anything, from their backstories to conflicting philosophies about the world to whomst among you is a cat or a dog person.
Then does that make you a cat person, Eisen?
Actually, I like squirrels best.
The older Tales games nailed this with the portrait skit system, whereas newer ones tend to have overly long skits with long pauses between bits of dialogue. And by new ones, I mean Arise. I'm looking at you, Arise. Along with those god-awful stilted animations using 3D models instead of the goddamn iconic 2D character art. Not to mention, older Tales games also tend to have more focus on comedy.
Hey, anybody want to take me on? If you can beat me, I'll give you 50,000 gold. That's what this person just said.
Hey, what are you trying to do?
The comedy aspect is still present, but it's far less pronounced, with the post-Graces Tales trying to take themselves very, very seriously. So much so that it kind of sucks out a lot of the fun of their stories.
I'm completely helpless. I'm a failure.
Both are true.
You know, unless you're Berseria, then you're perfect. Or you're Xillia, then you're not as perfect, but, you know, still fun. Still that girl. Picking favorite characters from this series is not an easy task, but for the sake of examples, we're gonna go with 3 I would commit arson for. Yuri Lowell from Tales of Vesperia, Luke von Fabre from Abyss, and Velvet Crowe from Berseria. Yuri used to be an Imperial Knight, alongside his childhood bestie and possibly ex-boyfriend Flynn.
And they were roommates.
Oh my god, they were roommates.
Being from the capital city's slums, they had hoped to purge their empire of corruption from within. But Yuri kinda lost hope and left, while Flynn remained. So Yuri winds up lazing back and not really doing much with his life until the plot commandeth. Vesperia is all about justice. How do we deal with people who've wronged others? Should we punish them? And if so, how? What happens if someone has the power to escape justice? What if they use their power to abuse and exploit the weak and the vulnerable? Yuri is a bit of a chaotic good vigilante, taking matters into his own hands when powerful people use their privilege to get off scot-free for truly heinous shit.
Please, no! Not like this! I don't want to go like this!
Tell me, how many times have you heard those very words?
He tends to be a lone wolf, but while he believes in what he's doing, he still recognizes the gravity of his actions.
The laws have always been the tools of whoever happens to hold all the chips.
Just saying that doesn't make it right for individuals to judge right from wrong, or for you to operate your own private court of law. If the laws are at fault, then fixing those laws comes first. It's for that very reason that I'm still with the Imperial Knights.
But you can't deny that lives were saved because those bastards were put down. You'd rather tell those people, sorry you have to die today, I promise we'll change things soon.
That's not what I'm saying at all.
They're out there, you know. People so bad they'll just go on hurting others. What can the average person do but be victimized by people like that? You know it was the same way with our people in the lower quarter.
Even so, Yuri, what you're doing isn't right. Do you intend to rain your justice down on all the villains of the world? That's the behavior of a common criminal.
I recognize it for what it is, and I've made my choices. Murder is a crime.
And even knowing that, you intend to dirty your hands.
Intend to? I already have.
Luke, meanwhile, is a privileged, pampered little shit.
We'll just have to wade through the river.
Are you serious? My shoes, my clothes, everything will get drenched. No way.
Fine. You can stay here. Someone who cares that much about his clothing would just get in the way.
Excuse me?
He's the nephew of the King of Kimlaska, who was kidnapped 7 years ago by the rival Malkuth Empire. Since his return home, he has lost all his memories prior to the kidnapping, had to relearn how to walk and talk, and has been forbidden to leave his manor. But of course, the plot demandeth he leave, so he leaveth. He's a total ass, having no filter and insulting people who piss him off left and right. And he doesn't even know how shopping works.
Wow, these apples look good. Sir, you need to pay. Why do I have to pay?
You can't just take a store's products without paying.
But the manor pays for everything all at once. Oh wait, this is Malkuth.
Malkuth or Kimlaska. The normal way to shop at a store is to pay money for what you buy when you buy it. I can't believe he doesn't know how to shop at a store. Are all aristocrats like this?
Still, there is good in him. Luke does his best to keep up with the others while they fight for their lives.
I've made up my mind. From now on, I fight, without hesitation.
To kill someone means to rob them of their future, even if it is to protect yourself.
And it can earn you the hatred of others.
Are you prepared to deal with that? Can you face that responsibility? Without running away? Without making excuses?
You said yourself, you aren't killing people because you want to. I've made up my mind. I'm not here just to be a burden. I'm gonna take responsibility too.
But...
I don't see any problem with that. We'll give Luke a chance to show us his resolve.
Just don't push yourself too hard, Luke.
And while his nicer moments tend to include backhanded compliments, it is clear a lot of his bullshit stems from frustration and obliviousness. It's the equivalent of a child throwing a tantrum because their immediate needs are not being instantly met, which is a bit more relevant than you might think it is. About a quarter of the way through the game, Luke's idiocy catches up with him. Before this point, the other characters would admonish Luke for his behavior and his comments, so the game clearly was never going to give Luke a pass. And when he makes a terrible, hasty decision that destroys an entire city, Luke breaks down in denial as the other characters look upon him with pity and disdain.
Why did this happen? You said Axariuth was supported by a pillar, correct?
Yes, but that pillar disintegrated.
How?
I don't know anything about it. I was just trying to neutralize the miasma. He told me that if I caused a hyperresonance there, the miasma would disappear.
My brother deceived you, and you destroyed the pillar that supported Xillia.
No, that can't be.
I wish Luke had at least discussed it with us beforehand. Neutralizing the miasma could have waited until the residents were evacuated. Of course, there is little point in saying that now.
Yes, Xillia is gone. Thousands of lives lost in an instant.
Are you saying it's my fault? It's not. It's not my fault. Master Van said... Yeah, Master Van told me to do it. I had no idea this would happen. No one told me. It's not my fault. It's not my fault! It's Master Van's fault, not mine, right, guy?
Luke, don't make me think even less of you.
I was stupid for starting to think you had some good in you.
While he was manipulated, he also could have avoided this by being open with the other characters and actually try to learn about what exactly it was he was doing. After this moment, Luke makes a point to consciously change.
Master Van said so. Ash said so. That's all I ever say. It's no wonder everyone got sick of me and left me behind. Up till now, all I ever paid attention to was myself. And I'm not even sure I saw myself clearly.
Yeah.
I want to change. I have to change.
If you really mean that, then perhaps you can. But even if you change, that won't bring back Xillia. And it won't erase the fact that thousands died. With the weight of all that on your shoulders, how do you plan to change?
I don't know. That's all I know how to say. I'm pathetic. If I could make up for Xillia by apologizing, I'd apologize as much as it took. If my dying could bring back Xillia, then I'd be scared, but I'd die. But that's not how things are. Even if I tried to make up for it, I'd never be able to. So I'm gonna start with what I can do. I don't know what that is yet, but I'm serious. I want to change.
I still don't think you really understand. Not while you can talk about dying so easily.
When the other characters are hesitant to trust him, Luke deals with it and focuses on the task at hand.
Oh, Luke, you're here too.
Should we head to Doth?
Yes, that's the idea. In case you were unaware, Doth is southeast of here. I hope you won't get too lost or slow us down too much.
Luke, it's not easy to regain trust once you've lost it.
I know.
He becomes far more even-tempered and understanding and kind, and makes a point to understand other characters, even his enemies. Sure, he did the cliche anime thing of cutting his hair, but, you know, he rocks both looks. And at least he didn't bust out a goddamn ukulele.
You got a one-way ticket to manipulation station.
And finally, my favorite character of all time, Velvet Crowe. She grew up not too different from most protagonists, lived in a small town, was very cute, carefree, but her life is kind of rooted in loss and tragedy. She and her younger brother Laphicet lost their parents when they were little, and they lost their older sister Celica 7 years before the story begins. Now Velvet takes care of Laphicet, who is sickly and bedridden, with the help of her older brother-in-law Arthur. She does everything she can to look after her brother, and desperately wants to see him grow up to be healthy and strong, since he's really the only family she has left.
Velvet? Could you not put any spinach in the stew?
Huh. You'll never grow up if you're picky with your food, you know.
I know, but just for today?
But of course, there is no greater inciting incident than trauma, and so Arthur, now going by Artorius, okay, sure, whatever, sacrifices Laphicet at a shrine outside the village, hoping to use the resulting power against the current crisis, causing monsters called demons to rampage across the lands. In her rage, Velvet becomes a demon with the power to consume the power of other demons. Artorias imprisons her in a dark, dank dungeon, leaving her to devour demons for 3 years before she breaks out and goes on her revenge quest. Velvet becomes a lot colder and a lot more edgy, but there is still love in her. She is protective of a young spirit boy who resembles Laphicet.
Your way of looking at the world is so much like his. I wish I bought him that compass. I wish we could have traveled together like he wanted. Laphicet, you know you don't have to do this if you don't want to.
I'm going with you, Velvet.
I see.
She still enjoys cooking and cleaning like Celica taught her to, and by the end of the game, when Artorias' plan becomes clear, she is determined to secure her revenge in order to preserve a world where people are still free to be their messy, flawed selves. Velvet is a revolutionary, anti-authoritarian icon, even in her selfishness, and I stan. Since Tales is an anthology series, you can really start anywhere and not have to worry about being hopelessly confused. It's pretty much just go forth and experience, my child, and let the vibes guide you. That said, some titles might be harder for you to get your hands on, given that they might be locked on older hardware, or even if they've been remastered. Perhaps Namco was not diligent enough to have gotten the job done properly. I can only offer my guidance from my experience. But if I were to suggest some titles based upon both accessibility and how well they represent the series as a whole, I have 6 in mind. 5 of them are, unshockingly, my top 5 Tales games, and the 6th is Tales of Grace's F. Grace's stands, I am sorry for all the strays you're catching, but we walk different roads, so I'm not really sorry. We'll start with ones that are a bit easier for you to get your cat's mitts on, starting with Symphonia Remastered. Symphonia is the fan favorite of the Tales series, and having just finished it, I can see why. Here, your main character is Lloyd, whose bestie love interest Colette is the chosen of regeneration. Their world of Silverant is dying, and as such, it is Colette's job to visit multiple elemental shrines, become an angel, and restore the world's life force. Naturally, there's some insidious shit afoot with the angels guiding Colette, and though I did know how the story went going in, I loved experiencing the twists and turns for myself. The gameplay is a lot more dated compared to the other games, and combat here doesn't include free run. In fairness, it was their first foray into 3D. It is definitely fun though once you get used to it, and the story does a wonderful job at keeping you invested. But just know if you've played the more recent entries, Symphonia is going to take a bit of an adjustment period, but it is so fucking worth it. Vesperia Definitive Edition, meanwhile, has a great cast of characters to help make up for its far messier story. The world here uses technology called Blastia to perform magic, and when the Blastia powering the slum's fountain gets stolen, Yuri goes on a quest to get it back, in the process stumbling upon a massive scheme to steal Blastia from across the Empire for nefarious purposes. Oh, and also Blastia are fossil fuels and they're killing the world, and we need to stop climate change lest this giant lava chicken roast us alive. I have been emulating Tales of Grace's F rather than playing the remastered version, but either way, you follow Asbel Lant, a young brat who meets a totally not robot girl named Sophie and befriends the prince of his kingdom. Tragedy follows, Sophie dies, and Asbel is separated from all his friends, and the story picks up 7 years later after he's become a knight. The story is, not that great, and neither are the characters, I'm gonna be real. But the gameplay is fun, very fun, so yay. If you're wondering what the F stands for, it stands for future. Future self, put Squidward yelling future, please. Future! The original Graces only came out in Japan for the Wii, and then it got ported to the PS3 as Grace's F, featuring the epilogue chapter, and that is the version that later came to the West. And then Tales of Berseria, my favorite. As mentioned before, there is a demon plague afoot, and now a demon herself, Velvet is determined to avenge her brother by killing Artorias, now heralded as the world's savior, the Shepherd. We befriend some pirates, a couple spirits, a war demon, a nihilistic witch, and a crybaby exorcist.
I wasn't crying!
Along the way, discovering the true nature of demons, and having our entire worldview systematically destroyed as our hearts are ground into dust. It's great. 11 out of 10, no notes. Each of these games are available for multiple consoles and PC via Steam. And personally, I very much enjoyed burning through them on my Steam Deck. But the last two recommendations I have sadly are not as accessible since they lack official re-releases. Tales of the Abyss, originally released on the PS2, and then was later ported to the 3DS. Here, Luke is whisked away from his family manor, and while he definitely was in the Disney princess bag of wanting more, he now has decided he regrets his musical number, does not in fact want more, and would very much like to go home, please. But of course, there's more to Luke's kidnapping than meets the eye, and it's somehow connected to a brewing war he is now tasked with preventing. His world is governed by a prophecy known as Yulia's score, and as such, some have decided to do whatever it takes to ensure that the world follows the score, even if it means war. Abyss is just so good, man. Genuinely, the storytelling is mesmerizing. The characters are great, and it's got the best villains in any Tales game, bar none. Oh my god. If you don't have a PS2 or a 3DS lying around though, you're kinda out of luck. You know, there is a chance that Namco will announce an Abyss remaster sometime this summer. But for the time being, your best bet is to just emulate Abyss. It is definitely possible, again, made a better experience by Life Bottle Productions' work with updated textures, but you're gonna need to put a bit of work into this one. It's so worth it though. The same goes for Tales of Xillia and its sequel, which were released for the PS3 and have been trapped there ever since. No need for updated textures while emulating this one, thankfully, but you are going to need to tweak your emulation software, in this case RCPS3, to make sure that it runs properly. Here you play as Mila, the Lord of Spirits in human form, who is trying to destroy a weapon of mass destruction, which also kills both humans and spirits as fuel. I've already made a video about both Xillias, so, you know, maybe go watch that, you know, right now. Go do that. Go do that now, please. It requires a lot of tweaking in the settings, but, you know, it's worth it, girl. Trust me. It's worth it. Ultimately, the Tales series deserves more love. It features fantastic characters, enjoyable stories, and unforgettable moments that will stick with me for the rest of my life. I will genuinely never forget the mind-blowing, heart-wrenching story of Tales of the Abyss, the defiant, unwavering cast of Tales of Berseria, or the goofy, wild shenanigans of Tales of Vesperia. And even in the Tales games I don't enjoy all that much, I can still see plenty within them that would be enjoyable to other people. It's sad to see the series in the state that it is now. Namco's become so busy trying to chase popularity and cash in on mobile game transactions and nostalgia baiting that it forgot why people loved the series in the first place. I do hope that the next mainline game after Arise will return the series to its roots, giving us a fun, memorable story in the vein of Vesperia or even Berseria. But if not, you bet your ass that I'm praying for the indie game girlies to give us Vesperia even gayer edition. And also I'm diving into the older games. You know, I'm on Legendia right now, and then after that, I'm thinking of doing like the fan translation of, you know, the Destiny director's cut. I'm just really excited. Anyhow, if you enjoyed this video and would like to see more content like this from me, then be sure to subscribe and ring that bell for notifications because YouTube hates creators. Also consider, if you're willing and able, giving a one-time donation through the thanks button below or pledging your support for myself and the channel over on Patreon. I'm the Unicorn of War, and Namco's handling of this series is a goddamn shit show.